Hello, flat earth researchers, debaters and debunkers. I was looking at the moon earlier on tonight. It's gone now, but something occurred to me as I think more and more about what, if anything, the moon is, and the sun, and I've never really felt strongly either way that the moon is necessarily an evil thing or a good thing. I don't know. But I looked up when it was above my head. There it was, lighting up the clouds that were directly above me, seemingly very local. But of course, at the same time, someone thousands of miles away could be looking at the same thing and seeing their clouds above their head being lit up by what would appear to be a very localized moon. It appears to do the same things as the sun. It appears low on the horizon, and for people on either side of the equator, the moon will take a low path and never go directly overhead, whereas for me it goes overhead, as does the sun. But the thing is, everyone sees it as being close. What does that mean? Again, we're talking about the individual perspective being the point here that we have to study. Where is it really, the moon? Where is the sun really when we see it? The sun here above Phuket seems extremely intense most of the time. In the UK, you can just sit outside in sunny weather and bathe in the sunlight, but here you can't do that. You can't sunbathe, really. People that do, people come here on holiday and they do, and they after a day or half a day on the beach, they end up looking like lobsters, and then they simply can't go out for the rest of their holiday under the sun. It's extremely intense here. So yes, compared to somewhere like the UK, it definitely feels much closer, as if it really is passing over the equator. But the plot thickens, and I sense that there are many of us out there who possibly a long time ago got past the addiction to finding out the true shape of the earth. We know it's a level plane, a plane of existence, and we kind of come to accept that, and we kind of realize that it being an intelligently designed system, that we have to do our best to try and, even if we can't work it all out, we understand that we have we have to try to examine what our lives are all about. And it can be just something as simple as having daily interactions with people and spreading happiness, spreading goodwill, comforting each other. Because the sky, the celestial objects will only reveal a certain amount, or the fact that they don't reveal much at the end of the day forces us to to look back inside. So yes, all these distractions about going into space and going off to Mars and what have you, they're distracting us from where we should be looking. It's great to look up to the sky, but it still is a reflection to make us look inwards rather than being something that must be worked out with math, earthbound physics, and things like that. I have a relative who's only just started talking to me again by Skype or chatting by Skype. We used to chat every day almost. He's in the UK and I'm here, and we used to call each other every day. And I've always tried to kind of hint at things like, money not being real, 9/11, Sandy Hook, just look into it, these kind of things, GMOs, vaccines, all that stuff. Won't have it. But also admits at the same time that if you looked into one conspiracy and found some truth in it, then it would mean it gave credence to all the other conspiracies, and therefore I suppose he knows that his world will come tumbling down around his ears if he gives any conspiracy the slightest bit of thought. But it's amazing the intelligence which can be used by someone to bend the issue, to get around it, to try not to answer questions, to when faced with one of those questions that stumps any of us, and we a lot of us are happy to admit that we don't know. We don't care if someone tells us we've got to go and get an education because we don't know. Doesn't matter. And just, for anyone that's feeling paranoia out there, it's just part of the process. You feel, if you were in some kind of situation where you had an oppressive regime dictating your life, and you undertook some kind of mission, like putting a bomb under a truck to blow up the bad guys, you'd be panicking, you'd be paranoid, you'd be crapping yourself throughout the whole operation, but you would know that it was something that had to be done. And that's what happens, I think, with all of us eventually. Those of us who decide to just go where the information leads us. We're so desperate for answers, and the closer we get to understanding the situation that we're in, the depth and the cleverness and the system, the more scary it can feel, because we know. But who are we upsetting? Who are we upsetting? Who you think agents are going to come knocking on your door and you're going to get taken out because you're telling the truth? No. Because light is stronger than the dark. there is more light than there is dark. And we're getting connected to that light. We're living in amazing times. The technology is here now to help us spread messages. Messages of hate don't last. They don't have a lasting impact. Positive messages of love and just honesty, openness do resonate and have a resilience that dark energy doesn't. I've no idea if we're in the midst of an awakening. It feels like it, and I'm sure it feels like that for a lot of other flat earthers, truthers, whoever, just people out there seeking their own answers, because they're inside us, we know it. We are gradually unlocking them. No one knew which direction flat Earth was going to take, and we still don't know. But I've never been so hooked and so into and so driven by something for so long. Because it kind of goes without saying that flat Earth isn't about working out the shape of the Earth. It's first of all, it's just that realization that, wow, we are living in a system that is so cleverly designed that it's almost impossible to work out how it works. So then comes this degree of acceptance that, you know, we intrinsically know that we are connected to it. We're connected to the stars and the earth. There's nothing out there in the cold, harsh space for us. It's just it's Mother Earth is reclaiming us, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. We come from the earth. We're not stardust in the way that someone like Neil deGrasse Tyson or Cox likes to put it. I mean, yes, the universe is everything. We are connected, and we are part of that everything, of course. But just going back to what my wife was telling me straight out after talking about the tracking of the sun. She says, look, where does water come from? And of course I gave the classic, the sun, it heats, evaporates, goes up, makes clouds, comes back down again, the rain cycle. I said, no. Where does it come from? It's quite possibly the most abundant thing in the universe. Maybe everything outside of us is made of water. We are made of water. Water is intelligent. Water just is such a mysterious, fluid thing. But we just, sometimes we can drink it, sometimes we can't. So everything they tell us about science, the search for water on other planets, because yes, okay, water is a prerequisite for life, for our life anyway, but for everything around us. But actually, even in the desert, water is everywhere. But my point is that, we're told that water is such a rarity in the universe that the opposite is probably true, that water is the most abundant resource in the universe. So stars, and my wife was talking about stars as well. She says, look, they don't necessarily, they're not necessarily, they just, energy gathers in a certain place. Again, it goes back to everything having a job to do. The sun, the stars, the moon, the rain, the plants, us, whatever, the wind, everything has a job to do. Whether we understand what that job is maybe kind of irrelevant. We just do it. We can't help it. It is, it is our job to be on this earth and have an experience and get into to arguments, fall in love, get sad, get happy, get bored. It's just, we have to do it. We have to be born into rich families. We have to be born into poor families. We have to go through life realizing that certain things don't matter and other things do matter. And the best things in life are free. And that we create our reality. Jazz Sinclair is making some great vids now, and it's yes, I'm perceiving that flat earthers are now way beyond the fascination with proving the shape of the earth or even the passage of the sun, etc. Great if we find out, if people like Crow 777 come up with a really, really, really good, clear explanation of what the moon is. Great. But I think to a large part we are accepting now that there's too much mystery to ever really handle in one go, and we just have to focus on fixing everything that's wrong with the world and the human race, and that is done on a moment-by-moment basis. It doesn't happen overnight. It can happen in an instant between one or two individuals or a group of people. Again, Jazz Sinclair was talking about sleeping and getting connected to dreams during our sleep, and I think that's very good. And I also wanted to mention that meditation is very similar in that respect, that meditation, once you really get into that state, it's like being awake while sleeping, and you can even you can be very lucid throughout the whole process and wake up feeling or come back from your meditation feeling that you have been asleep. 20 minutes of meditation can make you feel like you've had several hours sleep. It's quite incredible. The silence, the nothingness, the eternal light, whatever, the stillness, the equilibrium, this is where creativity happens. It's not we've been told that it's forces and collisions and high temperatures and things being crushed and under pressure and blowing up and expanding and speeds. No. Creativity, wisdom, knowledge is all there if we can tap into the silence. That is where the answers lie. Thank you.